one of more than 1 million species struggling around the world.
I remember growing up and seeing them everywhere, and you don't see them everywhere anymore.
The monarch's fate could get even more dire. Earlier this week, the Trump administration announced new rules that will weaken the way the nation's Endangered Species Act is applied, potentially loosening restrictions that the mining, oil, and gas industries say have hindered investment. Also this week, the latest move in the war over coal's future came as 29 states and cities filed a lawsuit to block the Trump administration from easing restrictions on coal-burning power plants, emitters of greenhouse gases. Health and environmental groups have filed similar legal challenge led by the Environmental Defense Fund.
The Clean Power Plan is just part of a series of really historic and unprecedented attacks on climate and clean air protections under the Trump administration.
The lawsuits seek to protect the Clean Power Plan Act, unveiled by President Obama in 2015, that sets federal limits on carbon pollution from power plants.
By 2030, carbon pollution from our power plants will be 32% lower than it was a decade ago.
In June, President Trump replaced it with the Affordable Clean Energy Plan that allows states to set their own limits in a move to boost the coal industry. Critics say the new law ignores the government's legal responsibility to set limits on greenhouse gases. Trump, who is running for re-election in 2020, often frames environmental concerns as hurting the economy.
Virtually every leading Democrat has vowed to eliminate fossil fuels, obliterating millions of American jobs, devastating communities, and bankrupting factories, families, and senior citizens all across this region.
Yet, a recent Washington Post ABC News poll showed that 62% of Americans disapprove of Trump's policies on climate change.
Actually, Americans really want clean air and clean water and a safe climate. And a clear majority of Americans doesn't want these rollbacks to take place. So the Trump administration is really ignoring the wishes of the public and moving forward with these rollbacks. In many cases, they're actually ignoring the wishes of regulated industries as well.
But in coal-producing states like West Virginia and Wyoming, Trump's stance on the environment does win him support. His approval ratings in these states is higher than in the national average. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News at the White House.